Hello, welcome back. Today it's all about adventure making, adventure writing, writing adventures, making adventures, creating adventures, making your own thing. This is why I am here today, and we're going to be doing some creation. And I picked a mine. We sort of revolve around a few times and try something a little bit different each time, and I thought this would be a good one to do. I'll put up a poll. Feel free to take part in that poll, and feel free to share your ideas. I have brought a map with me today. My suggestion to you is grab some food, some drink, make sure you are comfortable. And yes, there is lots to be done in a very short space of time, but that's not the issue at all. What we're going to do is work through this fairly quickly. So let's get started. Let's not muck around anymore, shall we? Hi, welcome to How to RPG. My name is Fred Weller, and today I want to talk about tabletop role-playing games. Could be D&D, could be Pathfinder, could be anything. But we're going to write, make, create a mine adventure, a classic mine adventure. Is there such a thing as a classic mine adventure? There probably isn't. Not when you're dealing with my community anyway. I think it'll be something very, very different to what you might expect. What I've done with this is I have created a map. It is a single level map, but it hasn't got multiple levels. We've kind of done that before. We might go back to doing that again, but not today. Instead, I have flooded this mine with water, because this often tends to happen to mines with lower levels, particularly if it's a bell shape. Water will find its way in and it seeps to the lowest point, and of course if that water can't be drained out, it just keeps filling up until suddenly you have a mine that's completely flooded. I've flooded all the levels except for one, so that's why I'm doing it this way. So first off, for those of you who are thinking, well, I mean, how much fun can we have with a scenario like that? Well, we'll find out, won't we? Also, too, I want to make it clear, when I do this, I really want you to make your own adventures. I'm just showing you how you could do it, and do it quickly. That's really what this is all about, okay? For those of you who are wondering, how did we come up with the map, or how did I come up with the map is actually from Dave's Mapper. I'll put a link into it for you. For those of you who want to know where that map is, if you're not looking at it on YouTube and you want a copy of it so that you can sort of clearly see what's going on, I'll give you a link for that as well. That is my Discord. It's not a secret. My Discord is not a secret. I know some people have the Patreon, unless you're a patron, you don't get access. I'm not really worried too much about that sort of thing. I see Fred Huber has already started very, very quickly. He's already decided that he's got an idea for number 2, which is fine. I'll mark that down. I'm quite happy. Bad storm, intermittent internet, no problems, Fred. I really want you to share your ideas. I'm going to sort of lead you through and describe how you go about doing this. The program I used is basically a map generator. It's just basically geomorphs or tiles that you just move around and then you position so that you get what you want. One of the things you'll notice with the maps that I generally bring into this, and this map in particular, is there's more than one entry point, and there's more than one way to get through the location. So to get from any location, any place, generally there's more than one way to get to anywhere. You don't have to take the same path. It's not a linear map. It is am I going to be able to pronounce it correctly? Probably not. If I can pronounce it correctly, cool. But I don't think I will be able to. So I'm not going to even try. I'm going to give you a link to the Discord as well, so that you can join the Discord and have a look at where the map is and download it if you really want to, and use it in whatever way you like. I have no problems with that. Totally up to you. And then we're going to get started. One of the first things we normally do when we're doing these sort of things is we have to come up with what is the map or location about. Like whose location is this? Who controls this location? Here is my Discord. Okay, those are things that are important to understand. So I'm going to put that forward right now. Hashtag who controls the mine. I'm assuming this is an old mine. It may not well be functioning that well right now. If it's filled with water, it's probably not in use. Who controls the mine? And what sort of mine is it? What sort of mine? Okay. So that's our first question. Now you'll notice I've got some words underneath my head, where my head cam is. And that is just to remind you about how to structure this. You'll see that Fred Huber's already put down a number to indicate the area that he wants to describe and have information around. And I'm going to transfer that information over to the document that I'm working on, which I will show you shortly. I'm also going to talk about mines in general so that help you sort of work your way through this. So what do we need to do? How do you structure this? It should be area number. So give me the area number on the map, and then you want to do describe the features in a sentence. Keep it short. Okay, box text is not what we were trying to achieve. One sentence. If you can convey most of your information in 1 or 2 sentences, that's better. So the main features of the location. Any noises, if that's important. Furniture. In this case, equipment, because it's a mine. And I will be going over some of the equipment you can put into a mine. So if you're unsure, don't worry, I've got that covered for you. So equipment, then we want things like odor. If there's smells that we need to describe, it may not be that important, but who knows. Monsters, if there's monsters in it located, or creatures. Traps, if there's a trap. Hazards are likely to be something you'll find in a mine. Hello, Pale Rider, how are you? Hazards. Treasure, things that they can find. Now, it doesn't have to be gold, doesn't have to be magic items. It could just be something that's a useful item. NPCs they can talk to. Is there anybody in here that they can talk to or not? Are there puzzles? Keep them simple, people. Keep puzzles simple. Lock and keys probably best. And then objects. Okay, and oops, I think I've got most of the things punched in that we need to cover in terms of the basics of what you're dealing with. So I will share the document, the Google document, with you a little bit later, not right now. What we're going to do first is we're going to deal with breaking down all of this. An adamantine mine of the dwarves who abandoned when it flooded. We've done dwarves before, so I'm going to ditch the idea of dwarves. So let's deal adamantine mine, fine, but we did dwarves before. Hat goes off, so it needs to be a different type of mine. Anyway, the other thing is I'm not changing the map. So if you want to try to redraw the map, it's not going to happen. Work with the map that we've got. Okay, the central location, number 7, is the main mine. Those pools of water or blue patches are the holes or the shafts that lead downward into the deeper into the mine. They are filled with water. Okay, so if you're wondering what those were, there are a couple of passageway chambers that are secret. Chamber 11 and 10 are secret. There are secret walls here. They're not secret doors, but secret walls. So how we get into them is sort of up to you. The entryway, the main entryway, has been broken. It was, I'm going to mark this down as like a wooden, maybe a wooden door that has been boarded up and somebody smashed it open, and now that's why you can see there's stuff littered in the front of it. So that's area 1. Area 2 is Fred Huber's going to make this the secret glade. This is another entryway, but that's got double doors, and we're going to put padlocks on this, I suspect. Okay, you'll find that area 12 and 6 look like they've got trees in them. But I'm going to suggest that maybe these are great, huge mushrooms or fungus that is growing here. Big sort of clumps of fungus, maybe. You come up with an idea that you think would fit with this. There is, now you can see there is some actually man-made rooms. These, so number 3, 4, 8, and 9 are manufactured. Okay, so these locations are going to be where you might have an office or maybe an eating quarters, or equipment storage locations, things like that. Whereas your natural looking cavern areas that are sort of a bit more roughed out, and there are not a lot of them. I've made this very simple, like 5 and 14 are sort of more roughed out. Okay, maybe there are rail tracks, cart tracks on here. Number 15 is a little bit odd. It looks like there is either a hole leading downward with that big huge sort of hatch bit in the center there, or that is maybe a central pillar, or maybe it's a great huge ball of or stone rock or iron ore in a clump or something like that. There's only a couple of stairs in here, so it's a very simple location. There's 15 locations, should be easy to get done. You want to go gnomes? I'm happy to go with a gnome. Gnomes are fine. Gnomes are fine. Gith mines sounds good too. Okay, all right. So I'll let you guys work through that, and I am going to try to see if I can get to the top of the chat to download your first idea here. Fred Huber, number 2. And now, for those of you who are wondering about the adventure that we did last week, I did finish it, but only just last night, so I didn't have time to actually upload it. I will do that probably at the end of this week, because this week is really busy. A lot of really long live streams. That's not good. Let's try it again. And it's doing something weird. Why is that doing that? Oh, okay. All right. Now I see. Now I see. Okay. There's more than a problem there. Try that again. See if I can get it to go in without making a mess. That worked. Secret forest or grove. Secret grove. This hidden glade has a small grove of trees. This glade has a small grove of trees that hides access to the rear entrance of the mine. Okay. You want to put unicorns here. So you've gone here with the lair of a small group of unicorns protected by a high-level droid. Repeatedly casting droid grove spells centuries ago. Okay, all right. Hello, Nacho Man. Pick a location. Let's see what you've got. Okay, 2 continued. 2 animated and awakened. You've got a lot going on in this location. Number 2 is very, very busy. We'll keep going though. 2 animated and awakened thorn vine plants defend the glade. Treat as ropers with thorny tentacles to add damage to their grab. Okay, all right. There's a lot of information there. The 2 sets of iron Double doors. Doors are locked with chains. And padlocks. And heavy padlocks. Padlocks. Okay. All right. I think number 2 is pretty much sorted out. I don't think we need to do too much more with that. There's a lot going on there. We'll see how else we can make this work. So next, a mine that is a collection of petrified remains of celestial gods. Okay. I don't know that this map really says that, does it? It's an interesting idea. I'm going to just plonk it down the bottom here for now and see if I can figure out how to make that work. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I'm reasonably good at doing this most of the time. You've got abandoned Githyanki mine at the bottom of one of these pools as a portal to the elemental plane of water. Okay. I'm going to get rid of the Githyanki thing and I'm going to stick with the gnomes, and I'm going to take the other bit that you've got here and retain that. So we're going to go up to main features and we'll include this. Paste. At the bottom of one of the mine pools is a portal to the plane portal to the plane of water. I'm fine with that. We can keep that bit, and we're going to go with, I believe it's adamantium. We've got an adamantium mine. So an adamantium mine, and it's flooded. Yeah. This adamantium mine once belonged to a clan of gnomes who abandoned it when it flooded. Okay, I think we've got that sorted out. We're doing pretty well. Let's keep going. I will fill in some of the information. If you guys don't deal with it, I will, and I will try to talk more about mines as I go. Okay, what rooms are left? Pretty much all of them. The only locations that we haven't done so far is so area 2 has been done, area 3 has been done, area 9 has been done, I believe. So everything else is still available to flesh out. Okay, so Githyanki are mining for metal to create their special silver weapons. Oh, you want Githyanki there, or Gith there. That's really an adventure hook, isn't it? That's sort of your overarching what's going on here. Okay. Swords. That's we'll come back to this. And what else have we got here? 3 is going to be the miner's tool room. I absolutely think that's a good idea. Let's put that there for sure. Let's make that a thing. Area 3. I'm just going to call it the tool room. Tool room. And we've got a nice description of what's here. Many picks and shovels and other digging tools are rusting on wall racks. A desiccated Why does it not understand that word? It's probably a corpse of the room attendant. I desiccated a corpse. Corpse of the tall room attendant is stretched out on the floor. Okay, we have our tool room done, and we can add in a few more tools there. I'll go over that pretty shortly. What do I want to say here? Chiseled square room has many picks and tools. Many picks, shovels, and other digging tools. Rusting on the wall racks. Yep. Okay, cool. We've got that sorted. I think I got that mostly. Modifying a few things, but got there. Right, 9. You want to make 9 the mine supervisor's office. Includes a vault for the payroll. Okay. Well, I mean, with the vaults and look, because we can make the mine supervisor's office number 8 if we really wanted to, and make the vault number mine vault. I think number 9 could just be called mine vault and be done with it. That would be my go to. Mine vault. And then number 8. Let's just make number 8 the supervisor's office. And that will cover that fairly easily. We just need to put some descriptions and information on that in there. I'm going to do the main mine area. So this huge huge odd shaped cavern has quartz sparkling let's see, sparkling has embedded quartz sparkling across the walls. And what else? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 bluish, bluish pools of water dominate the center of the cave. Each pool of water is 200 feet deep and leads to the rest of the flooded mine which has collapsed over time. Okay, so at least I got a description for 7. Hello, Dungeons and Chronics. How are you? Nice to have you. Nacho, my players did a mithril mine yesterday, full of nothics and gibbering mouthers. 11. 11 is a gem room, puzzle, secret door, 4 chests filled with gems guarded by an earth elemental. By 3 earth elementals. So each square is 5 feet. There isn't enough space for 3 earth golems to be in there. A Pale Rider. Nice try though. Maybe we can put 1 there. I don't know about 3 though. 1 would probably have to be enough. But yep, it's got a secret wall. So 11. Paste. Gem room. Now remember, if this is an adamantium mine, we're not going to have necessarily gems in here. We're going to have adamantium ore. So yeah, I'm kind of questioning as to why we'd say this is the gem room. Because maybe it should be adamantium that's in here, hidden away. A secret wall hides now what does it hide here? Hides gems. Yeah, I don't know about this. 4 chests filled with gems are guarded by. I'm going to just put here 1. And instead of a golem, I'm just going to put here. We might just say it as a. What about a clay golem? A clay golem. I think there is a clay golem as such, right? If I look under golems, golem. They're pretty standard too, aren't they? Giants, golems. Here we go. 167. 167. We have the flesh golem, clay golem, stone golem. We can just make it a stone golem. One stone golem. There isn't going to be space to stick any more in there. It'd be too much. So, okay, so that's 11. Wandering monsters. You want to have wandering monsters as gnome ghouls. Pale Rider, I'll make a note. I'll put that into the wandering monster section. I've left the wandering monster section mostly sort of unoccupied at present, so I haven't done very much with it. Kind of deliberately, of course. So we'll see. Next, between rooms 13 to 14 is a 13 and 14 is a wall made of humanoid skeletons and rusty bits of armor. The wall is about 8 feet high with a 2-foot gap between the top of the wall and the ceiling. So instead of doing that, Nacho, I'm going to take your idea and I'm going to make, see 14 here, area 14 has got a great huge section that sort of divides it, separates it, gives you 2 pathways. That great huge chunk of earth and rock and so forth, that is going to be the wall that you just talked about. I'm going to put that in 14, okay? And then I'm going to adjust some of the rest of this. So it's not going to be a blockage as such. I'm going to make that 14 because there is already a wall essentially there. Does anybody remember the living wall? Which is a horrible, horrible thing. But we could certainly put something like that there and 14. So 14 is a thing now. I don't know what it's called, that area, but we've got something to position there. Nacho, put your idea. A wall made of humanoid skeletons and rusty bits of armor. Divides this elongated cavern. The wall is about 8 feet in height with a 2-foot gap between the top of the wall and the ceiling. Okay. A mine cart track runs an old minecart track runs through both. Now what are we talking about here? I guess it's junctures, both junctures, pathways. Pathways into area 13. Okay, so done that. Bum bum bum. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, next. I'll be here as long as I can. I can. Phone dying. No problems. Dungeons and Chronics. By all means. Gems can be found when mining for ore, and the gnome-sized gnome-sized, small-sized earth golems. I suppose we could do that. Let's just make it a stone golem. If there is a portal to the plane of water, occasional water elemental or other creatures of elemental planes of water come in to wreak havoc. Okay, so yes, I would agree that's probably a thing. So, I mean, if you want to put that, if you want to put water elementals in area 7, that's fine. You let me know. Otherwise, I will mark them down as potentially a wandering monster. Water elemental. Okay, might be potentially a creature that is wandering around. Okay, next. 10. Yes, this is the area is the skull closet. Nacho Man has decided to use the secret area. Let's just go here so I can actually see it properly. They get the heart out of the way. The skull closet. Ah, dear. Fun times again. Skull closet is 10. Okay. If the secret wall is opened, it reveals a room full to the ceiling with various types of skulls that tumble out when the wall is opened. You filled up that location with skulls. Amusing. Very amusing. Well done. Okay, so going to have a drink of water. I'm going to put a lozenge in my mouth. And then I'm going to kind of go through some of the stuff that I'd already sort of thought a little bit about. Actually, I might even give you an update right now. I should do that. I should give you an update. Let's prompt this again. Do an update as to what rooms have not been done yet. And then go from there. So paste. We'll do that. Hashtag areas to complete. And I give you a rough rundown of this. So let's go down to here. It's that, and then go over here to our mine so you can see what we have. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, so this is the Google Doc I've been working on, putting your ideas into. Obviously not fully fleshed out. So the crashed entryway, I think you guys can leave the crashed entryway to me. I'll sort that one out. So just don't worry about the crashed number one. But number one hasn't been done yet. If you feel inclined, you by all means put something forward. Area 4, 5, and 6 have not been done, but Area 2 is the secret grove. Area 3 is the tool room. Area 7 is the main mine. I've written a little description, but I haven't put anything there. Okay. Number 8 is the supervisor's office, but there's no real description of the supervisor's office or what is there. Number 9 is the mine vault. No description or what is there. Number 10 is the skull closet, which is basically got a secret wall that reveals a room full of various types of skulls that tumble out. Area 11 is the gem room. A secret wall hides gems in here, basically in chests, and there's a stone golem. Area 12 and 13 haven't been done. Area 14 doesn't have a name, but we have a bunch of stuff here. I believe it's a humanoid skeleton, rusty bits, and yeah. There's an old mine cart. So there's sort of like a wall in here made up of human skeletons and bits of armor and so forth that are rusting in this cavern. Number 15 has not been done yet. And yes, that's what we currently have in terms of this location. So let me just quickly go through each of these sort of give you an idea of what we've got. Area 1, which as I said I will do myself, that's fine. 4, 5, 6, 4, 5 and 6. Really, if you've never done this before, please feel free to jump in and throw your 2 cents in. You never know. I might write it down. I don't want people to feel like only Pale Rider, Nacho Man, Dungeons and Chronics, and Fred Huber are the only ones who are ever going to contribute. They're just leading the charge to show you how it can be done, okay? It's your imagination. It can be as simple as you like or as complicated as you like. Okay, 8, 9, 12, 13, and 15. 12, 13, 15. I think that covered all of them. I believe so. Okay, so yep, that's it. So I just need to just drop that into chat. Bum bum bum. 15 could be anything. As I said, 15 could be a hole in the ceiling. It could be a hole in the ground leading down. It could be just a solid pillar of rock in the center. It could be a huge ball of ore or a piece of rock. It could be floating in the air. It could be magnetic rock. It could be a ball of adamantium. That would be entertaining. If it was a floating, levitating ball of adamantium, how the heck do they try to figure out how to get it out? Because it's quite large. It's it's about 10 feet across. It would you might struggle to get it down the passageways to get it out. You probably couldn't even get it out. You might have to chip it all off. So yeah, to have a think about that. So those are the areas that we're currently working with. So next, what have we got here? A Kraken has made the pull in 7 into their lair in 7 versus an underwater dark cavern. Okay, can we fit a kraken in there? The large pull, maybe you could have a kraken that comes through that pull, because that hole's quite large. So I'm going to just grab this. The kraken would have to be coming from this plane of elemental plane of water, would it not? I'm assuming that's what's going on here. If you're going to have a kraken inside a mine, which you could, I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities. Anyway, let's have a look here. Paste. A kraken has a kraken lives in the largest pull of water that escaped the water. A kraken. Yep, that'll do. That's fine. We got that. That's in. Next. Hello, Matthew. How are you? Lots of great ideas for repurposing mines in the comments. Yes, there are. And I should be talking more about mines because I have some notes here to talk to. But while I'm doing this, I'm also trying to pull everybody's ideas down. I had to restart my phone a bit ago. What is the idea for the mine? Again, it's an adamantium mine. So it's an adamantium mine. It's originally from a clan of gnomes. It is abandoned. It is flooded. This is just the first level. The lower levels have collapsed and are flooded. Okay. Most of the lower mine areas have collapsed. So yes, and then yes, I think I've covered most of the bits and pieces that we were doing before, so we should be all right there, right? Where do we want to put a blind Medusa as an NPC? A blind Medusa. We've had Medusas before. Try something else. There are so many monsters available to us. We could have something else other than a blind Medusa. Come on. I know you can do something else with that. A table covered in fresh food and wine. If players try to try any food or wine from the room, it disappears. Where would that go though? I'm all for the idea. I'm just, where are we putting that? Can we make that room 4? Room 4 could be exactly that. If you want to put illusion, because we got nothing in room 4. It doesn't have to be room 15. Could be room 4. Why not? Lunchroom. Let's just make number 4 a lunchroom. Nobody's put down anything for that, so let's put lunchroom. And let's just put this little... A table covered in fresh food and wine. Fine. Wine fills this square chamber. Square brick wall chamber, and then you've got here if players, let's just put if characters try eating any food or drink the wine, it disappears. It disappears. Because it's a magical illusion. I think that's essentially what you were trying to go for. So you put your lunchroom in. Got it. You can overwrite any room I made a suggestion for. No, it's fine. You know I will. Now number 9 is a black obsidian statue. It's actually a statue covered in black puddings and attacks any player that touches it. Is that supposed to be number 9, which is the treasure vault? The mine vault? Yeah, I think my Nacho means area 15. I think that's right, yeah. Let's put that as 15. Statue chamber. I'm not sure why we have a statue in here, but apparently we do. A black obsidian statue. Of what? What is the black obsidian statue of? Statue of a regal gnome. Right to the center of the room. Okay. The statue is covered in black puddings and attacks any character that touches it. Got it. All right. Well done. 15 is down. Dun dun dun. I put your food covered table as number 4, as a lunchroom near the front of the mine. Okay. And then I took your other idea, the black obsidian statue. I chucked that into 15. Okay. Remember, we've got some sort of vegetation growing in area 6 and 12. That's why there's those funny little bits and pieces there. They kind of look like trees. Stick in Esper's rune worm in 13. Now 13, you want to put a rune worm. So what is actually in 13? I mean, it's a big chamber, but you're saying rune worm. I don't quite understand why we're putting Esper's rune worm in there in 13. I mean, I can stick the rune worm there, but there's nothing else there. That's the thing. Rune worm. Okay, next. Oh, you randomly opened the book. No problems, Nacho. I'm just chucking it anywhere. Now that we've done that, let's give you an update as to up to where we were up to and where we were what we've done so far. I'll give you another quick update, and I'll post this again, so that you keep doing your bits and pieces, and I am filling in information as we go. We're doing very well, actually, if you ask me. And then areas that have been done, I will give you those now. And okay, so areas completed so far. So we still got area 1 to do, which again I will do. You don't have to worry about area 1. Okay. I just haven't got a chance to get to it. I've been just cutting and pasting a lot. We have 5 and 6 left to do. 5 and 6. And then we have areas 8 and 9. 8 and 9 we have kind of assigned, but we just don't have anything for them. The supervisor's office is area 8. We just need some information on it. 9 is the mine vault. And then we have area 12 and 13 need to still be done. 12 and 13. 12, 13. So the list is getting shorter and shorter. Right, now let's have a look and see if we can deal with the crashed entryway. The front entrance to the mine has a smashed wooden door with door scattered across the ground with a sign saying keep out. And of course people haven't kept out. So there is basically the information on the front entryway. I don't think there needs to be anything else particularly special about that. It's all good. It's a living scroll construct, essentially a spellbook that defends itself and its home. So if we're putting a rune worm in 13, what else is in 13? Why is the rune worm there? Like, what does that location look like? Is there anything else other than there's just a rune worm in 13? Do you know what I mean? I'm going to suggest that we could have some mine carts here, because some of those tracks should lead from 14 down into area 7 as well. That's a good point. 14 should have tracks going. Okay, so here we go. An old mine cart track runs through both pathways into area 13 and 7. Area 7. So we'll put that as, so that we want to have, so there are 7 should have minecart tracks on it as well. Okay. Minecart tracks. Crisscross. Crisscross the cavern floor. Okay. Dun dun dun. Okay, so that's that done. Cool. 13. Dead Gnome Adventuring Group that was sent to evaluate the mine for reopening. They never made it out. Okay, so you want to put Dead Gnome Adventuring Group. Okay. So I'm going to put here I'm going to put 13 as the minecart storage. I still put your idea in, but I'm going to call it minecart storage. Here we go, paste. So a small group of gnome skeletons are leaning up see it leaning. Let's do something else here. A small group of gnome skeletons are piled up in the far corner. Okay. So we need to do a little bit more with this, don't we? So let's see here. This is really it's sort of like a almost round room. This mostly this large roundish cavern has mine cart tracks running through it with old rusting iron carts stacked against a wall. A small group of gnome. Okay, mine cart tracks. A small group of gnome skeletons are piled up in the far corner. The gnome adventuring group was sent to evaluate the mine for reopening. But never returned. Okay. All right. I think I got that mostly sorted out. How are we doing? Old D&D joke. Bodies of superheroes litter the cavern. Level 1. Let's go. Yeah, I suppose that's true. Now, I've been keeping up with your chat pretty well. We're doing very, very nicely. Thank you very much. We still have a few areas left to go. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to at least cover a little bit of the stuff around mines. Okay, and what we can do with our mine. This is just one single level of a mine. You can have multiple levels to your mine, of course. I've filled it in with water to make it not quite as large. I don't want to turn it into a mega dungeon. So if you don't want to have to be a mega dungeon, then because a bell-shaped mine, okay, is going to go down and deep and spread out. The further down you go out, it's going to get spread out even more. What you can do is you can fill it in with water, like I've done today. It can have anything under the sun in here. You can have hidden locations. Not everything needs to be sort of, obvious that it's there for a particular reason. Obviously, when you have an abandoned mine, it might have been repurposed by somebody else, or it might have just had a whole lot of things move into it and now occupy that space, which is another way of dealing with this. Because there are a couple of different types of mine. You have your surface mine, you have an underground mine. We're dealing with kind of an underground mine that is mostly filled in. There are placer mines, there's insight mining, there's lots of different things. Now we've picked, and you can have lots of different things in here, we've picked adamantium, right? But you can have, as a resource to make money, you can have anything from uranium, gemstones, diamonds, rhodium, palladium, platinum, gold, silver, copper, basic metals like copper, iron, coal, oil, limestone, chalk, dimension stone, rock salt, potash, gravel, sand, clay, anything like that. Now, in terms of gear that you would find in a mine, What we want to try to do is scatter some of this gear and equipment throughout our mine to make it more like it is a mine. Because there will be equipment left behind, right? Things like pickaxes, hammers, chisels, shovels, buckets, helmets to help protect your head, leather gloves, lanterns so you can see. You know, you're going to have all those for fairly basic locations. If you're dealing with a modern mine, you're going to have a lot of other stuff as well. But these are the sorts of things we certainly want to consider including, if we can, into our mine, because it just makes us feel like it's a bit more realistic. You know, you're dealing with fantasy, so we don't want to get too carried away with it must be realistic, because it doesn't have to be. It can be fantastical. It's all right. We can go fantastical. So I'm going to include some hammers into our tool room, some chisels, because we probably would have to. We had other digging tools that are rusting, but sometimes it's nice to actually stipulate what those are. I'm going to put here buckets, helmets, leather gloves, lanterns, and other digging equipment. Here we go. So we've got a bunch of different stuff. Now, I've talked about this sort of thing before, people, so it's not the first time I've covered this. Okay. There we go. Mini buckets. Buckets. You can put crowbars in here because maybe there's going to be a necessity to have a crowbar. You could have locks because some things have to be locked up. So helmets, rotting, leather gloves, a lantern. Lantern's always nice. Let's include a lantern. Lanterns, pickaxes, picks. Okay, so the tool room is a little bit more expanded on based off what it was before. So we've done a little bit more to it. Whoa, you guys have been going hard. Okay, so what do we got here? A small group of small humanoid corpses. Yep, we can put that down as small humanoid corpses with small weapons and small clothes. 12. You want is a cockatrice nest full of fleshly hatched baby cockatrice chicks and one angry mother. Okay, well, you've put a creature here. But what are those? Look, in 12, what are those things? Are those trees? Are those mushrooms? Is that fungus growing in there? Are those bushes are those bushes inside a cave? Like, what are they? We haven't really established that. Do you know what I mean? So I'm taking your cockatrice idea, putting it in 12, but we still need to decide what 12 is. Because we still don't have that. We just have, now that we'll put cockatrices living in here. It's full of freshly hatched baby cockatrice chicks and one angry mama. Okay. Next. Mama's always angry because kids don't listen. Oh, good Lord. Here we go. This. How are you doing, Derp? Cloaker. Have we put a cloaker in here yet? No, we haven't put a cloaker in here yet, Derp. You want to put a cloaker in everything. I put a cloaker as a random creature somewhere before. Where are you going to stick your cloaker? Remember, Area 5 has not been done. Area 5 is a huge location. Nobody's suggested anything of what's going to happen with Area 5. A huge, big area. Nobody suggested anything. Area 6, it's got like a bush there. What is that? 8 and 9, we kind of know what they are. We just need a description for them. 12, we need a bit of a description for that. 13, I've kind of nailed that one down now. So 13's mostly off the. Oh, you want them to be nests. So those things are nests. That suggests that 6 is a nest as well. Is there a cockatrice nest in there as well? You've stuck a lot of cockatrice nests in there. Wow. 1. The long disturbed mine entry is partly collapsed and camouflaged by random bushes that has overgrown years. Getting past the blockage in the tunnel is well crafted and surprisingly clean. I don't want to hide the front entrance. I want to hide the back entrance, which is 2, but I don't want to hide the front of it because they've got to. We want to get them in there. So if we hide both entryways, it's probably not going to work. The long disused mine entryway is partly collapsed and camouflaged by random bushes. No, I don't think that's a good idea. I think we've done the camouflaging on 2. We're not doing the front entryway. I want them to go through the front. If they get to the back entryway, that's great. But if they don't, they don't. And the tunnel is well crafted. So, surprisingly clean. I'm not sure what you've got. What are you planning? I feel like there's something going on in your mind there. Here we go. So, the front entry to the mine has a smashed wooden door scattered across the ground with a sign saying "Keep Out." Very basic stuff, and then the tunnel is well crafted and surprisingly clean. That leads into the mine complex. Okay, all right. So I've put that idea in there partly. 12. You want nests. Players love being attacked by angry chickens. Do they really? Okay, so we've still got plenty of time. I want you to think a bit more. I'm going to update this little list here. Let's can do another update on our list because we've actually filled in a few more, and I need to make sure that I update constantly so that you guys aren't repeating yourselves. So area 1 is done. So we don't need to do area 1. Area 1 has been covered. Okay. All right. So area 1 done. 5 and 6 still not complete. 8 and 9 still not done. I would say 12. I would say 12 is still not done either, because we need a bit more information. I'm late, so don't know if 7 is done. 7 has partly been done, so I can read out 7 to you. Actually, I can show you. What I'll do is, it's top of the hour, at least, just past top of the hour. I will show you what we've got so far, okay? So let's switch our screen back over to this one here, and then we'll go back again. So far, haven't done anything with adventure hooks because we're just trying to build out the mine right now. And it's an adamantium mine belonging to a clan of gnomes. That they have abandoned it because it's flooded. One of the mine pools in the mine actually leads to the elemental plane of water. Most of the lower mine is collapsed, so we don't have to worry about them exploring the lower section, other than them deciding to go into the elemental plane of water. That might be a bit of a problem. Crashed. So the crashed entry. So we've covered that. Area 1. Area 2 is the secret grove. We've got unicorns and druids and stuff going on here. There's rather a lot going on in Area 2 right now. 3 is the tool room. We've done that. 4 is the lunchroom. Nacho did that. Thank you very much. 5 and 6 has still not been established. 7, I have got a description. We've put a kraken living in the largest pool here. Haven't really done anything else with that. The supervisor's office is going to be area 8. The mine vault is 9, but we don't have any information on it yet. We have done 10. 10 is the skull closet. It's basically a secret room that has a secret wall. It's just full of skulls. 11 is a gem room. Secret wall again. It's got a stone golem in there. I don't know why we've got gems in this room, but apparently we do. I'm tempted to do something naughty in this location. Anyway, 12 is, I believe, Nacho wants it to be a cockatrice nest, but I feel like, why would the cockatrice be there? There must be something growing in there, and that's why those nests are there. I just feel like this is, I want to give it some sort of, is it fauna or flora? Flora. Give our little mind some flora. We can do this. Okay, so we've got cockatrice nests, baby chicks, and angry mum in 12. 13 is the minecart storage. We've kind of established there's some sort of great huge rune worm in here, some dead gnome adventurers. There's a bunch of minecarts stacked up in here, and some minecart tracks in here. So we've got most of that sorted out. 14, we've got a wall of humanoid skeletons and rusty bits of armor dividing it, and there's some minecart tracks running through this area leading to 13 and 7. And then of course we've got no sort of what is this area called? I don't know what we're going to do. We call it the living wall, or do we call it the undead wall, or do we call it the dead wall? We could call it the dead wall. Dead wall. There we go. It's got a name. And then 15 is the statue chamber. We've got a black obsidian statue of a regal gnome that dominates the center of the room. And apparently the whole statue is covered in black puddings. So we've got quite a bit going on here. That's what we've got so far. If you need an update, there it is. Okay. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it cranking through. I like the bushes in 13 would be fungus. Yes, I feel like they should be fungus bushes. Let's make them fungus bushes. Stick a cloaker somewhere. Well, where do you want to stick the cloaker? Based off what I've just mentioned, tell me where you want to stick that cloaker, and I will stick it somewhere. Yep. Maybe. Yes. Okay. All right. So let's go back to 12, and we'll call this the fungus forest. Okay, a cluster of small and large fungus plants are growing in this. Right now, 12 is a strange shape. In this strange shaped cavern. And now we have our cockatrice. A cockatrice nest full of freshly hatched baby cockatrice chicks is feeding on fungus. Feeding on fungus, and one angry mother is trying to keep them in the same place. Of course, that's going to be very difficult, but we have done that. There we go. Now, that sort of says to us that 6 has got a great huge fungus plant. Fill 5 with a cloaker. You want to put 5 with 5. 5. Well, 5, nothing's been done with 5. But what else in 5? Just chucking a cloaker into 5 is all very well. Fill with cloakers as many as maybe a bit much, but let's put 1 or 2. Well, that's fine, but what else is there? Do you know what I mean? So I can put a cloaker in 5, but that's all I've got there is cloaker. We've got to have a bit more going on. Otherwise, it's not going to work very well. Okay, cool. Cloaker. 6. I'm going to put here fungus tree. A large, come on, Fred, multicolored. It's always a bad idea. Multicolored fungus tree is growing, is reaching .30 feet, say 30 feet to the ceiling of this ceiling of this. Let's go with fungus covered cavern. Let's put fungus everywhere. Fungus is everywhere. There we go. All right, so we've got a fungus tree. Don't know what else is there, but I have done that. Bum, bum, bum. 5 is such a big, huge, open area. There's so many things you could potentially do with it, and nobody's come up with anything yet. Need to go do my weekly supermarket shopping. No problems. I'll catch you later, Nacho. All the best. Fill with cloakers. I'll be fine. Drop a cloaker on each PC. Let the players figure it out. Dilapidated ore vein. This area has been mined out carefully along the flow of the adamantine vein. An old drab cloak lays forgotten in the corner. There we go. Now he's got it. There we go. Now we're talking. Okay, this is 5. Derp's contribution. Bum, bum, bum. Okay. So this massive cavern has been mined out carefully along the flow of the adamantine vein. An old drab cloak lies forgotten in the corner. Cloakers, 2 cloakers. 2 cloakers. Cloakers cling to the ceiling, cling to the roof, the cave, waiting for prey to pass by. I think that's right. Cloakers. Yep. Okay, so 5 is definitely locked down. There we go. Well done. Nice job. The cloak is a cloaker too. Oh, okay, all right. All right, okay, let me see. Let's make some adjustments. An old drab cloak lies forgotten in a corner. But is in fact a cloaker in disguise. Yes, a cloaker disguises itself as a cloak. What a surprise that would be. Wouldn't have guessed that one at all. Anyway, so let's go back to, since you guys are working through this and doing really well, let me update you again on the locations that we have done and haven't done, and then we'll continue on. So what we need here is 8 and 9. I want some descriptions for 8 and 9. That's what we want. 8 and 9 are really the only areas that haven't got very much going on. And then we've got a couple other things to do, which is course is going to be, like now 8, remember, is the supervisor's office and 9 is the mine vault. So what do those look like? Okay. All right, let me just do a quick changeover so you can see what we're up to. And then we're going to move on and start doing adventure hooks and any other information we need to cover. Okay, Bum, bum, bum. Here we go. So this is what we have. So we got one adventure hook. We'll get back to this. Don't worry about wandering monsters. Don't even concern yourself too much. I've just made a quick note. We can put stuff in here that makes sense. Don't worry. So next. Main features, Adamantian Mine. Clan of Gnomes used to abandon it when it flooded. One of the pools leads to the elemental plane of water. Most of it has collapsed to lower levels. So area 1 is the crashed entryway. We've covered that. 2 is the secret grove. 3 is the tool room. 4 is the lunch room. 5 is the depleted ore vein. 6 is the fungus tree. 7 is the main mine. 8 is the supervisor's office, which we don't have any information on yet. 9 is the mine vault. Okay, let's put some cool stuff in there for them to find, and we need to lock it. 10 is the skull closet, which is basically full of skulls. 11 is the gem room. I might just call it a gem chamber. Cave, gem cave. If it's going to have gems in there, I want to make these fake gems. So you've got hides. I really want to make it full of fake gems. Hides. Fake gems. 4 chests filled with fake gems. Okay. Okay. A secret wall hides a medium-sized cave with 4 chests filled with fake gems. Fake gems and guarded by 1 stone golem. Okay, next, 12 is the fungus forest. So we've got the cockatrice living there. 13 is our minecart storage. So there's tracks, there's mines, there's a rune worm in there, and there's the gnome skeletons that are piled up here in the far corner. 14 is the dead wall, which is basically a wall of humanoid skeletons and rusty bits of armor that divides the elongated cavern. It has minecart tracks running through it, and that lead off to area 13 and 7. And then we have 15, which is the statue chamber. I don't know why we have a statue chamber here, but we do. It has a regal gnome statue in the center of the room, but it's covered in black puddings. So, that might be a problem. So this is what we've got so far. So we've done very, very well, if you ask me. But let's go back to this point here. Now that we've got those of you who are here, it is at this point that we want to consider thinking in terms of adventure hooks. Okay? So I'm going to start putting forward some suggestions. Hello, Shy X. 8 should have a cow. Why do you want to put a cow? You want to put a cow in area 8. In the office. We're going to put a cow in the office. 8. High table filled with mine plans, equipment to check ore, chests. Okay, Oscar, there you go. Now we're talking. Let's get this this adventure hook going. So, adventure hooks. Which means I'm going to have to start reading out a lot of adventure hooks to give you sort of some ideas, I suppose. Here we go. Why do the player characters come to the mine? That is our question. That is what we've got to deal with. So, throwing that out there. I used to practice writing an adventure plot in 10 minutes based on three seemingly unrelated objects. I'm trying to prompt ideas, not write the whole adventure. That's exactly right. We're not writing the adventure. Remember, this is a location-based adventure. It is not an event-based adventure. It is designed for the players to create the plot, okay? Not the game master. It is designed for them to explore. There are multiple routes, as you can see. There's 2 entryways. There's multiple routes into this place, okay? And we want them to be able to explore and take a different route. They don't have to take the same route. If you were to run it with a different group of people, it would play out differently. That's what we want to try to do. That's what we're trying to aim for, Yep. So 8 has a cow in it. I'm trying to think about how to include the cow, but that's cool. We'll deal with the cow. Area 8, the supervisor's office. So a high table filled with mine plans and equipment to check ore or sits in the middle. Let's put it in the middle of this. Now this room is an odd shape. It's a reason why I picked the shape of it, because it is strange. Is that an octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think it is. So in the middle of this octagon token shaped chamber. A few chests sit, rest against the walls. What's in them? I don't know. With something in them, filled with. Don't put treasure in there necessarily, but we can put something in there. And then I'm going to have a cow in there. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with a cow, but I'll figure it out later. Today's not obviously the day. Intriguing. 9, the mine vault. Chests for storing of explosives, valuables, gems, coins. The mining pay line the wall. Also, an oddly shaped chest is secretly a mimic. So we're sticking a mimic in here. Fair enough. Dirt. You got it? Let's put it in there. That gives us area 9. This iron-walled octagon shape octagon room has chests for the storage of explosives, valuable gems and coins for miners' pay lining the walls. It's fine. We'll put that here. An odd placed chest, a secret mimic. Okay. Secretly a mimic. Okay, so we've got a mimic in there. We've got our cow in there. Doing pretty well. And now we're dealing with a whole bunch of adventure hooks, which I haven't had a chance to actually read out my adventure hooks suggestions. But I'll get there. 130. My gosh. You're doing very well, people. I'm impressed. This is probably the first time I've ever seen somebody trying to shove a kraken inside a mine that's filled with water. So intrigue. Could be a food source that survived in fungus or a druid. I am intrigued. I'm not sure what to do with this, but I'm grabbing this shy, and it's going to need a little bit of work, I think, so I'm going to just put it down here for later on. Could be a food source intrigue. You go. So I'll come back to that. Hide by the gnomes to see if the mine can be reopened. Okay, very basic stuff. Fred Hubert, thank you. We'll just put that at the top. Hide by a gnome. A gnome clan. To see if the mine can be reopened. Very simple. Okay, next, what else have we got here? Hook. They saw a sign that said, do not enter, so they entered. Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, that can certainly happen. Characters. Saw a sign that said, do not enter, keep out. So they went. Explored. When you're doing your adventure hooks, try to figure out a way of hooking one of your players. There's usually some way, like I would have an adventure hook that's related to, if you have a gnome in the party, you want to target the gnome player or character and get them invested in going here for some reason. Like some sort of, if you have a gnome in the party, then, you know, no news from the mine and no ore is coming to the company lord. Right, yes, okay, so the problem is this has been shut down for a while, so it may not work quite the way we want it, that particular hook. But yes, as soon as you give it sort of like it was made by these people, then you should always sort of try to capitalize, and if you can get the players be related in some way, absolutely. The gnome want to reclaim it, but need the adventurers to make sure it is dry and safe enough. So essentially something that's already been said before. I am copying most of your ideas down, people, and I'll just, if anything sort of crosses over, I'll just sort of link it in some way. Legend of the Unicorn Grove, they need unicorn horn for a wizard to make something. Okay, that's something. Right, I'm taking things down, people. Just bear with me. The mine is the shortest route to cross a mountain. Oh, good lord! Hello, Oscar Gross. So we've gone with the Fellowship of the Ring. Lord of the Rings. Well done. Yes, I suppose it could be. Yeah, oh dear. I don't know that this one is the shortest route across the mountains. Yeah, I don't know about that. Yeah, it's a bit much on the nose. What are you guys doing? Are you guys using ChatGPT? Legend of the Kraken, and they need something from it. Okay, yes. So we're gonna lead with the Kraken in some way, like they're after the Kraken. Apparently the Kraken lives here. Could do something with that. Yes, absolutely. What else have we got here? Murray Shack, you are very late. We've done a lot of work. Okay. Gnomes hire party to recover money or something else from the vault. Okay, so trying to get something out of the vault, that's not a bad idea either. Again, I would try to. I know players don't like having family members because game masters will always use that against them in some way to motivate them. As for random statues and mines, look up the carvings and salt mines. Miners do that kind of stuff, do they? Okay. Didn't really know that. Interesting. Just take that down. Hook. They track a fugitive here. A fugitive hiding in either room 10 or 11. Right. Why not? That's actually not a dumb idea, Derp. That's actually pretty good. I'm impressed. If they're tracking somebody down, it's not always going to come up, but it could work. Copy. Derp Hook, the party member, preferably a gnome, has inherited the abandoned mine and wants to inspect it. Derp. Well done. Well done. I should have guessed you would get it. There we go. That's what kind of what I was aiming for without trying to say it. But yeah. The characters track a fugitive to the abandoned mine. And the fugitive is hiding in either room 10 area. Either area 10 or 11. I'm all for that. Next, what else we got here? Cool, blimey. Okay, so we've definitely covered our adventure hook stuff. I think we can say we've got more than enough. Usually if we hit 6, I usually stop. We've got well and truly more than that to deal with. So I'm happy to sort of put a kibosh on that. There's a couple of other things we could do, and that is general features. Like, what are the general features of the mine? Hashtag. What are the general features of the mine? So what I mean by this is, are they the chambers themselves, the caves, mostly are they cave locations a certain height generally, or are they different heights in different rooms? Are the manufactured rooms, area 3, 4, 8 and 9, which are sort of more built for a purpose? Do they have a particular ceiling height, or do we want to have different ceiling heights in them? This is where we can sort of combine stuff, so we're not having to put down quite so much information. Moist, damp, mossy, yes, that's there you go, Shy X. This is exactly what I was talking about. Things that sort of describe the mine in general, wherever you might be going. Do you know what I mean? The Kraken has lured the PCs here to test them, to see if they are powerful enough to help them rebel against the master of some sort. Wow, okay, there's an awful lot going on there. All right, let's just see if I can just drop this in here. There's a bit of work required on that one, I think. What else? And yes, yeah, falling through the floor. Murray Shack, absolutely. That's an easy way, no matter where your players are with their characters in your adventure, having them fall through the ground into the mine is like perfect. And you can drop them anywhere you like. So a character fell through a weak spot on the ground, because this can happen with a bell. A bell-shaped mine is like this. You tend to have collapses that occur on the ground, and lands in an ancient mine, in an ancient abandoned mine. There we go. Yes. Brilliant. Well done. I'm very impressed. Oh my gosh. Moist, damp, and mossy. Moist, damp, and mossy. Let's just take this. So for those of you who are unaware, I usually take a lot of the stuff that you guys give me, and then I go through and then I clean it up later. This is what I usually do on the weekend. And hopefully I have enough time to do it. And I will do this quite regularly. General features: toxic dust. Toxic dust covers most of the mine. Various activities such as dashing or melee combat risk poisoning nearby characters. DC, is that a DC 10? DC 12 con save? Okay, I see what you've done here. Within 10 feet, DC 12 con save versus 1d4 poison and the poison condition. There we go. There we go. So you've got so an interesting idea. I might rewrite that a little bit, but yes, most of the loose soil is washed away from it being flooded. Yep, absolutely. We probably need to include mine tracks in area 5 as well. And bum bum bum. Okay, Murray, we'll take the minecart thing and we'll do that as well. No problems. So they are mostly intact. The minecart tracks are mostly in in good order. Aside from a portion which can be fixed. With a say sledgehammer. Okay, there we go. Got that. And passages are mostly standard mine built, especially by, yes, okay, the rest is natural cave. Yep. Okay, cool. All right, so that's that bit. Whether you realize it or not, we don't have a lot of NPCs. And there's nothing wrong with having an adventure, by the way, people, that doesn't have that much in the way of NPCs to talk with. Sometimes it's just not the thing to do. This is an abandoned location. It's mostly occupied by creatures that have taken up residence, so you don't need to necessarily have an NPC. Not every adventure needs to be that way. Yep. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share what I've got here very quickly so you can see. We've got a bunch of different adventure hooks which I will have to clean up. So there's like 8. There's actually more than 8. So I will go through and I'll condense them down, and anything that's very similar, I'll make it sort of the same thing. Okay. So we've got a bunch of them. We're not going to worry about wandering monsters. We've got water elemental and gnome ghouls as potential wandering creatures, but that's not a hard thing to do. Next, main features. We've got a bunch of stuff which I will condense down and rewrite a little bit. We've got our location 1, which is the crashed entryway. Okay, so that's mostly sorted out. The secret grove, I will do a little bit of rewrite on this because I see Fred Huber is really wanting to sort of go the unicorn druid route, and so I'll have to figure out how to make that work. And there's sort of some awakens thorn vines here, so we'll do something with this a little bit later on. The tool room is mostly sorted. We've got a corpse in here and some tools. So basically the tool room is an opportunity to, let's put a crowbar in here as well. Crowbar. Put more than one crowbar. Crowbars, pickaxes. So let's fill it up with tools that they could potentially use on their journey. Lunchroom, we've got a lunchroom is 4. 5 is the depleted ore vein. 6 is the fungus tree. 7 is the main mine. 8 is the supervisor's office. 9 is the mine vault, and we've got a mimic in that location, and there's explosives and valuables stored here. 10 is the skull closet. 11 is the gem cave, which is full of fake gems. I've done that quite deliberately. 12 is the fungus forest. 13 is the minecart storage. 14 is the dead wool, and 15 is the statue chamber. And then I've taken a lot of your suggestions I've noted down. So you do not need to write up your adventures, by the way, with descriptive text. That's really long. So I've been discussing this with one of my friends, actually a couple of my friends, AJ Pickett, Wally DM, and some other people. And descriptive text is great, particularly if you're really new and you have trouble describing stuff, but you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. You can have a line of text, 1 or 2 sentences that tell you what's in the room, but isn't descriptive text or paraphrase text or box text, and you just present it the way you think it should be presented. That will still get the job done. So just bear that one in mind. I'm sure a few of you already know this, but I'm going to say it. Okay, now, before I run out of time, I want to share Dave's mapper again. So you can go and make your own maps. You do not need to go and buy or use somebody else's stuff. It's not that important. You can do it. It's not that difficult. You make a map with this thing, and then you do exactly what we just did today. Okay, I'll put in my Discord so you can see the map for today, and you just break down. All I did was take that, put it into Paint, and just number everything. It's not that hard. All you do is you just use the text feature and Paint when you bring it in, and you just put the numbers so you can number all your locations. Super simple, super easy, possible for anybody to do it. It's not difficult at all, and I highly recommend using this approach. Now, last week I did another adventure with you, and I have finished it. It's just not on Patreon. It will get there. There's a couple of other things that you can talk about in terms of your mines and what you're trying to do there. There's all sorts of different things. Now, I did not put a mine head frame in here, an A-frame, because the aim frame is gone. It would be in the main mine area for this adventure in Area 7, but there's no A-frame anymore at all. There's not even the rotted structure. It just doesn't exist. It is no longer a thing. But quite often you would have that sort of thing in your adventure. You would have an A-frame with a winch or a hoist that operates through the main vertical mine shaft for bringing passengers and cargo up. Okay, that's what that whole thing is for. So you can include that in your mine if you wanted to. Things like mine shafts. Mine shafts, there's 3 different types of mine shaft that serve different purposes. One, you have the bell-shaped mine, you have the vertical, and you have the open. But the types of shafts that you might be using is a shaft for using a lift for bringing ore and minerals and so forth out of it, or waste out of it, if you're not backfilling. Backfilling is when you put it back into the ground so you don't have the whole mine collapse on you. You might be there for transporting passengers, but also you need to have shafts as air vents. You have to get air into there somehow, and sometimes just cutting a shaft in there to provide air to some locations that you can't pump air into is a good idea. Okay, you need to be able to transport the ore or the minerals, the dirt, the rocks somehow, and so you need to have, if you don't have a lift or something like that, you definitely need to have a rail system. Okay, or even a buggy system, something for getting the material in and out of the ore, whether that's up or up and down or horizontal. It doesn't matter. But most of your air vents would also be vertical rather than horizontal. Sometimes tunnels will be horizontal, and this is to allow for you to connect to different parts of the mine if it's very spread out. We're not dealing with mine levels today, so I won't mention too much about that. And yeah, now your tracks. There's a lot of different ways you can operate a track system or a cart system. It could be just a push and pull by hand. It can be run with cables, with rope. You might have giant ants moving it. Small ponies was quite common. A powered steam engine, a hand crank. There's lots of different ways of moving the carts that move the material around. A water sump. You would normally have a water sump in a mine. Now, in this case, it hasn't helped because if enough water gets in the water sump, unless it's pumped back out, it won't work. So you don't have to worry about that sort of thing. The mine production slope, well, actually 5 is kind of like where the mine production slope is at the highest level. That slope might also extend down into the ground to lower levels, but we can't get to that anymore in this case. Your monster populations. Your monster populations, I've said before, look, you're going to have all sorts of underground creatures. But if you're dealing with animals, bats, bears, rats, snakes, spiders, millipedes, centipedes, lizards, insects, and tigers tend to be in cave locations. So they would go into a mine. They won't necessarily go very deep, but they will certainly be near the entranceway. They don't want to go too deep. And then, of course, undead usually will live in places where everything else can't live because they don't have to breathe or eat or drink or anything like that. But you can have other creatures that would be able to survive that sort of thing, like dragons, purple worms, the aboleth, kraken in this case, if it comes from the elemental plane of water. You won't normally put your living space into a mine. It's a dangerous thing to do. You might have a pump station. You might have a furnace for drawing oxygen down into it. You can put a lot of different types of hazards into a mine. So this can be everything from darkness, narrow passageways, stalagmites, stalactites, cavities, caverns, magma pools, tubes, flammable gas pockets, caverns, rock slides can be included, underground rivers and streams, springs, lakes that flood the thing, which we've done today, a tidal cavern or cave because it's connected to the ocean, holes and pits, cave cliff faces to climb up, slime that makes a surface slippery, green slime that's corrosive, brown mold, animal and monster poo, and then of course you've got magnetized ore, heated geysers if it's seismic, and then of course you've got the lack of oxygen, okay, and then rotting timbers and supports might be a big factor. Even rotted and decaying ropes and cables can be another thing that you can include, or even a malfunction in a lift if you wanted to. Traps can be included. There's lots of different ways you can do that. Don't necessarily think that's what you want to concentrate too much on, unless there is a location that is supposed to be secured, like a vault. Okay. I've always liked the story of the Tommy knockers who trap sounds to alert the miners that a cave in is about to occur. Okay, I wrote the unicorn druid room too before you said it's flooded. Okay. So it might not work. I see. Okay. Well, I will remesh it. I will readjust it if need be. Okay. I don't think it's lost. It maybe just needs some adjustment. Anyway, I'm going to end this poll. I can see that a few people have jumped in today. So we've built a mine. We've built it at an adventure. We've built our adventure hooks. We've done our general features. We did a little bit of wandering monster stuff. We've put everything in the rooms that we want them, or locations that we want to have there. And we've given it a lot of different stuff. So we've done everything, and we did that in just under an hour, which is pretty good. So have you made a classic mine adventure? Yes, 57%. And those of you who took part today, thank you for doing so. I'm sure you are the people who have. No, 26%. Now, those of you in the 26%, if you're still here, please go and give it a go. It's not that difficult. You can do it. Just watching 15% out of 26 votes. Awesome. Nice. Love it. Okay. I have to go. I'll be back tomorrow. What am I doing tomorrow? I think it's a skill challenge. I think we're doing a rope bridge. I think you guys mentioned you wanted a rope bridge a little while back. I guess we're doing a skill challenge about a rope bridge. Very Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, isn't it? Anyway, huge thank you to all of you who've been watching and listening. Thank you for taking part in the poll. Thank you to my patrons who support me on Patreon so I can keep doing this. I'll do my very best to see if I can get it up onto Patreon at the end of the week. But the adventure we did last week is ready, so I just got to find half an hour to get it up onto Patreon. That's not so easy sometimes, but it will go up. Don't worry, it is done, at least the first draft. So huge thank you. And look, for those of you who are in the chat and providing your ideas and sharing your suggestions, I appreciate it. Without you doing this, it's just not possible. So Fred Huber, thank you. Shiner81, thanks for jumping in. Murray Shack, Shy X, Oscar Gross, Pale Rider, Derp, who had some great ideas, and so did Pale Rider and Fred Huber. You always do a really good job of moving things along, so I do appreciate that a lot. And if there's anybody else that was here that I've missed, I was not intending to miss you out or not mention. Nacho Man, who's also a patron. So is Derp and Fred Huber. He shared a few things. If you don't like cockatrice, you blame Nacho Man. He's included them into this adventure. Dun dun dun. And Matthew. So huge thank you to everybody. So wherever you are in the world, okay, whether it be the morning, the afternoon, or the night, please look after yourself, your family, and your friends. Be nice to your neighbours. And hey, till next time, keep rolling those 20s.